Hello, this is Alex and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Minecraft 1.20 was released very recently, and it's added all sorts of new things to the game. And as I'm someone who really enjoys the building aspect of these updates and stuff, I thought I would show you 30 things that you can build using the new features in 1.20. I have a massive line of small mini builds set up for you, and let's just start going through them now. Number 1. You can make a really nice floor using the bamboo mosaic. Also kind of looks a bit like the back rooms. Number 2, but this is a block that's not actually intended for a floor. The bookshelf, or rather the chiseled bookshelf. Turns out, the top of it looks like a pretty good floor. Number 3, thanks to 1.20 we now have functional bookshelves where we can take out our books, we can actually write in them. You can make a library full of actual storybooks. These don't have text in them, but you know, you could make one with text in them. Number 4. I actually really like this one. If I go into the creative inventory real quick, you may notice that all of these look the same. It can be quite difficult to tell them apart without actually having to read through all of them. So what I've done here is I've got a bit more of an organized book storage system. So where you can put the enchanting books in the chiseled bookshelf and then label the bookshelf, knowing that all of the books in that bookshelf will be the specific type that you want. Yes, they still look the same, but they'll be in different bookshelves, which might be helpful. And it looks stylish. So say that I specifically wanted a mending book. I could come over here to my mending section and just grab one out. Easy as that. Sticking with the theme of chiseled bookshelves, we have number 5. The secret door. You know that scene in the TV shows and the movies and stuff where they pull out a book and the door opens? Well, guess what? We have that now. We can take out a book, door opens. And may I just say, this is some simple redstone. Now, the way I've done it, it is a bit fiddly to shut the door, because like, if you put it back in, it doesn't work. You kind of got to take that one out and then put it back in. But hey, it works. And number 6. I thought this was quite a cool idea to have a bit of a gradiented bookshelf sort of design, where you can grab regular bookshelves, a loom placed sideways, and a chiseled bookshelf, which may or may not have a book in it. I think when you mix them together in a wall like this, it looks really cool. It looks like a much more unique kind of bookshelf. Number 7. We have cherry wood now, and I love it so much. But the main thing that I'm going to focus on here is you can use things like stripped wood placed vertically to get some pretty nice tiles, which I like. And you can also get pink tiles, which I'm pretty sure there weren't really any pink tile blocks in the game unless you wanted to make like a checkered pattern. Number 8. This one's pretty cool. Now this feature has actually been in Bedrock for a very long time, so this isn't actually new for Bedrock, but on Java this is new. Using hoppers we have the ability to put discs into a jukebox, and then when they stop playing, they will fall out of the jukebox if you put a hopper under it. This is really cool because it means that we can make a system like the one that I've made here. Now there's probably a better design for this, but hey, I'm not a professional redstonist. Basically the simple version is when it falls out, when the disc stops playing, it'll be carried into this dispenser, and then if you push the button it will dispense it and go into the jukebox, meaning that I essentially have a button that can just play a song. Which also means that I don't have to carry the discs around, which is very good. Nice. Also, if you take it out, then you are going to have to manually put it back in here, but just be aware of that. You don't only have to put one disc in here though, you could put other discs in here, and then it'd be randomized. Next up we have this one. If you're a bit of a mischievous person, you may like the idea of pranking your friends. Fair enough. And if so, then you may like this idea, where if they have a pressure plate or a button or something to get into their base, you could wire that up to a jukebox with a creeper head on top of it to absolutely scare them. You can even do what I did and put a creeper on the other side. It's a fake one, but they might not realize that until they're screaming. Or perhaps even worse, you could do it to your own base, and then when your friend comes to visit, they will be panicking, because if your house explodes, it's their responsibility. If their house explodes, then it's just an annoyance. Next up, if you want to signify royalty, or you want to have matching armor to be in like a group of some kind, then the armor trims are an amazing way to do that. This looks quite royal, I think. If this person had a crown on, they'd look quite a bit like a king, I think. And this brings us to number 11. You can even try and kind of simulate a crown sort of thing. Now, this doesn't really look too much like a crown, but they're hard to do in this game. But if you're on Bedrock, you can use the character creator to get crowns, and if you're on Java, then you can get skins with crowns as well. Number 12. You could make a glorious shop selling the different types of armor trims that you may or may not have. You could sell full-on sets of armor like these, and these are pretty cool. You have this nice diamond one, which I think looks pretty cool. Well, this diamond and iron one. I just realized that these are all facing the wrong way. That's rather sad. I also really like this rainbow. This is cool. Number 13. You can make a sniffer enclosure, or perhaps an entire sniffer observatory if you want to go that far. The sniffer is a very interesting mob, and I quite like it. I'm happy it was added to the game. I did vote for the tuft golem, but Sniffer's good too. I do really like the Sniffer, and I'm definitely not disappointed it was added to the game. I think it is a really good mob and definitely deserved either first or second place. You can also use this as kind of a flower farm. Ooh, wait, it's the Sniffer. Oh my gosh, the Sniffer just gave us a live demonstration. That was amazing! So yes, you can totally use this as a flower farm. Let's go! What good timing was that? That was amazing! Number 14. You can make a shield shop, or a shield collection. In the new update for Bedrock players, you will now be able to decorate shields with banners, and you can have shields that look like this. You can also have other shields that look like this. This is pretty cool. Or even this. Pretty cool. And there's so many more designs. I don't know how many there are, but there's a lot. Quick note though, the shield design doesn't quite add up with the banner design, like what you may notice with this one. I don't have a demonstration to show you what the original banner looked like. You may be able to see that the pixels are a little bit off just because of the different sizing between the shield and the banners, so just be aware of that. Complex banner designs don't translate as well onto shields, although the creeper one, that's translated pretty well. And it's so cool looking! Number 15. A new mob head was added to the game, and that is the Piglin head. Very stylish. Also, I'm not sure how many people know this, but the skeleton head is hollow. The Piglin head is not. I'm not sure why this is, but it is. But yes, you can make a collection of mob heads, you can collect all of them, or collect more mob heads depending on if you have packs that allow you to do that. And along with collecting things, we have a wall of music discs. Number 16. A new music disc was added to the game. It's called Relic, and it's pretty good. And thanks to that, we have a whole other music disc that you can collect. And we have quite a variety of different ways to get them now. With a lot of them, you can get skeletons to shoot creepers, but with some of them, you need to find them in loot chests in certain locations. This one you literally have to craft, and this one you have to get from archaeology. I'm pretty sure. Sorry if I'm wrong about any of those. Number 17. You may or may not be aware that the cherry blossom leaves actually have a particle. This means that if you use them in a ceiling design, you can have that particle inside your base if you want that, or not your base, or like you can put it anywhere. Just if you want a particle, you can put these. Number 18. This is one of my favorites. Throughout the game, you may get a lot of different types of armor. From raiding all the different structures and going to all the different locations, there's different types of armor for different events and all sorts of things, and with the new armor trims, that's even better. So I thought you could perhaps make like an armor trophy room, somewhat like this, or whatever design you want, where you can basically show the armor that you've had throughout the game. For example, if you start off here, you can see this isn't enchanted, but it's diamond armor, and it has an iron armor trim. Perhaps this is your early game armor, and then throughout the game as you got richer you're able to go to the nether and get the rib armor set. You can see the golden helmet signifying that they were trying to stay alive and evade piglins. And then this one, Silence. Netherite armor, fully enchanted, decorated with the Silence iron armor trim. This would be a hard one to get as you would have to journey all the way to an ancient city. Or you could get someone else to do it and then buy it off of them. Or steal it. But I say do the adventure, because it seems more fun. Sorry if I end up killing you by giving that suggestion. I think this is a really cool way to represent the journey and the progression that the players have had. Number 9. If you grab suspicious sand and regular sand, you can mix them together to make a much more interesting looking sand patch. And number 20. You can do the same thing with gravel and suspicious gravel. Number 21. You can use the different designs for decorative pots to make something that isn't very intimidating a lot more intimidating. Or you can use them to convey secret messages. For example, perhaps the pot will look completely normal on one side, but then on the other side it'll have a skull. You can also use them to signify directions. For example, you can use the mourner to signify that there's a graveyard in that direction, but on the other side you could use the miner to signify the mine in the other direction. Number 22. You can place pots on top of each other, which means that they can form into a pillar like this, meaning that you can use the designs on the pillars, which looks quite cool. You can also use them to make tall pots. Number 23. Trapdoors, especially the cherry ones, look like really good shutters for windows. Number 24. This is probably my favorite one on this entire list. I originally got this idea from a Mumbo Jumbo video, but essentially he was using a calibrated Skog sensor to detect for armor being put on to open a door, which is really good for secret entrances. Because imagine this, right? If you're late game or something and you're like me, you likely have your elytra or your chestplate in your hotbar so that you can quickly switch between the two, which means that if you set up a system like this, maybe you'd use a different design, I'm not sure, but a system like this means that if you walk up to your door, equip a piece of armor, your door will open up. Amazing secret entrance. Number 25. You could make a camel parkour course. I'm not sure if you knew this or not, but camels have the ability to launch themselves forwards with a jump as opposed to the horses which jump vertically more. Which means that this is the only mob, I believe, that has that large of a horizontal jump. So you can set up a camel parkour course to try and do some epic camel parkour. Number 26. Sign parkour. With the new hanging signs, you can parkour along them, and it's actually quite difficult. Am I just bad, or... Oh, come on. Oh my gosh, yes, I did it. I'm so good. Number 27. We now have the ability to write on the back of signs, meaning that if you set up a sign like this, and you look to the back of it, there can be a secret message. Number 28. We now have the ability to send Sculk sensor signals to other Sculk sensors via amethyst blocks. Now, this is a bit of a pointless system that I've set up here because, well, even if I was to break this, it could still hear it anyway. But if you do something like this and place it over 8 blocks away, if I activate this, that Sculk sensor cannot hear me. But if I put this there, then it can. This is incredibly useful. Think of the wireless possibilities. Number 29. Back to the pranks. You can set up a mysterious redstone activation mechanism in your friend's base. They will be very confused as to what it is, and they will be hesitant to push it or not. And when they do, nothing happens. Except a creeper noise plays which sounds a lot like the activation of TNT, and they'll probably be rather scared that their base is about to explode. You can do this in many ways, with the form of levers, buttons, target blocks, observers, all sorts of things, but the main point here is that you can scare them. And finally, number 30. Using the new brush tool, you can make a hairdresser to brush the luscious locks of any friends that you may have. Beautiful. So, thank you everybody for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. Feel free to let me know in the comments what your favorite one of these ideas was. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. You can always check out more videos if you want to. Anyway, I'm gonna go now, so goodbye.